Hi, I'm Des Moines Register sports columnist Sean Keeler, joined again by the Register's Hawkeye football beat writer Randy Peterson and the Register's Cyclone football beat writer Andrew Logue. Guys, we finished up our non-conference games for both Iowa and Iowa State. Iowa State's coming into a bye this week with Kansas coming in 2 weeks to Jack Trice Stadium. So we're going to flip it over to the Hawkeyes first, come back to Andrew and talk about the UNLV game. The Hawkeyes getting ready for their big opener against Northwestern, but Randy, we've got some unfinished business, I think, in a lot of fans' mind coming off the 21-20 loss at Pittsburgh. You and I were there. What were your kind of general thoughts coming out of that game Saturday, Sunday, and then after talking to Kirk yesterday over in Iowa City?
Well, everybody who saw the game knows that was not a great Pittsburgh team. That team was there for the taking. That win was there for the taking. I'm of the belief that the only reason Kirk had Jake in the game in the second half, and let's just cut to the chase. That's what everybody wants to know anyway. That my opinion only is that, okay, it says, here Jake, here's the ball. You can lead us to a victory after trailing at halftime. If you can lead us to a victory, you've got the keys the rest of the year.
That was going to be his take the reins moment,
absolutely.
as we talked about. That.
If you can't do it, give me the keys.
We're taking it back. Right. Is that the final word on Jake? Is that it? I don't think it's it. I think we could be looking at a situation in Iowa where I know they're still waiting for that kind of definitive, sealed up moment. But what if the Wildcats are going to blitz Stanzi crazy? They're going to blitz whoever it is crazy. Iowa State did. Say he throws 2 picks or was inconsistent, and then here comes Jake riding in on the golden horse out of the bullpen. Could this be something that just keeps going? Have we got 2 guys that just can't take the job from each other?
Well, let's just say this. Ricky Stanzi is going to get 65 to 75% of the reps in practice this week. When in the past weeks, he's got 50%. It's been 50-50. He's getting starter reps right now in practice. So take that from there. I think that Ricky Stanzi, the job is his, and he's going to have to either get hurt or do something really bad to screw it up.
Is Kirk being straight with us about why Jay Christensen played this? Can fans, and not compromising you professionally, but can fans, the fans who are suspicious, do they have a little cause to wonder how much coach speak versus what really happened as far as whether the Ken O'Keefe blow up at Stanzi? They all tried to downplay that yesterday at the end of the first half. Couldn't there have been more to it to keep Jake in there that long, or is that it? Just flat out, I'm going to let him prove it. We're going to ride this horse until it drops.
I think you answered your own question. Sure, there could be more to it, and who knows whether there is or not. Fans are speculating there's more to it. Reporters are speculating that there's more to it.
Right.
While some other reporters are speculating that they just went with the experienced hand, as Kirk said, and as Ricky Stanzi said. Kirk also said, though, that he left the door open on this. He also said that he doesn't have to share everything with the public.
Right.
So
can he say that at $2.875 million? Is he allowed to say, look, I don't have to share everything with you, even though I'm taking the bulk of your money? Is he right to say that?
That's a great question. I can argue both sides of it.
Right.
And so I guess I really don't have a definitive answer to that one. But the perception is certainly he should be very, very open with the quarterback situation.
Right.
Which by saying that he went with the experienced hand, that's fine. But then adding that there were other reasons that he does not have to explain. Then that leaves it wide open to talk about, was Ricky hurt?
Right.
Was it the flare-up between O'Keefe and Jake?
O'Keefe and Stanzi, right.
Was
there more to it?
Was it Stanzi screwing up the last play, what ended up being his last play of the game?
Didn't Pitt have a timeout anyway at the end of that half? Couldn't they have conceivably called a timeout?
Sure they did.
As we know, we don't think no one thinks this is a bad coaching staff, but they don't handle time management. Hello, Capital One Bowl. Yeah. They've never been great at handling time management situations at the end of the
period. Well, that goes back to before this.
Right. But you have to wonder if someone whoever is the timeout coach wasn't doing their math on that one anyway.
That's a good
Again, they have a lot more wins than losses. So they do have a history of not handling those situations there. I wonder if that was a little bit of a cop-out to say, well, we want to just run out the clock. Well, they would have called timeout on you anyway.
They could have
if they thought they could have run out.
And plus, they had already had a punt block.
Right.
Just like you said.
Right. If I'm Pitt, I absolutely would do that with the lead and then send the house at them again and make them see what they can do. So, we love to play Tuesday morning quarterback, so I can guess it all the way. At Iowa State, Andrew, I think did we not have the take the reins moment? Have we finally, has Austin Arnaud, with that drive to tie the game at UNLV, basically made the job his own. Are we finally there?
I think we are. Chiswick won't say that, but I think you are, because you just pick up the vibe. R.J. Summerall talking about he showed me something. Curtis Taylor, defensive end, saying that was salty what he did. It was a moment.
I like
which,
salty. That's
like
good.
salty.
Yeah, salty is good.
It was a moment in which you just saw guys around him light up. That okay, he could do something. Everyone's going to talk about the touchdown pass to Summerall. What really I think defined it was when he drops back, they need a first down, the clock's ticking, and he scrambles 25 yards and gets out of bounds. That was as big as a touchdown pass, because what's the argument been the whole time? Phillip can make plays. Phillip can make plays.
With his feet, too.
With his feet.
Right.
Well, he can. Well, Austin showed that at a pinch time he could do some maneuverability too and get himself out of bounds. So I think you saw a little of that. I think Chiswick wants to still give Phillip every opportunity to play, but the vibe you just get talking from the players is Austin Arnaud's established himself as the leader.
Isn't it interesting, guys, that happened on the same day that earlier in the day you have Iowa faced with 99 yards to go and, well, arguably maybe only 60 to go, 60, 70 to go to try to get points to win a game, and blows up in their face. Iowa State has to drive from the 2 and gets the tying score on the road. I wonder, maybe it's easy for me to sit in the middle and make parallels, but that was the moment that put Arnaud ahead and may have put Jake behind for good. I don't know. How do you keep Phillip Bates happy if knowing that's the moment that starting push ahead, both coaches have said, we're kind of going to take it by feel and see where that moment is. If everyone agrees, gut feel, take our indigestion forward. If we had that gut feeling, now what do you do when you got a talented kid and you can't get him on the field?
Well, I think that's it. You keep him happy you got to keep him happy for now, and then you got to keep him happy for the future. I think right now you keep him involved, kind of going with a 60-35. You give him his 35% snaps.
So he's still going to get snaps in the game.
I think he is, and I think you give him a few. You can dictate when.
But didn't he come to Iowa State to be a quarterback?
And he came to Iowa State to be. That's what I mean. You can do it short term, I think, now. I don't know how to answer. Then I don't know how to answer that question.
Again, using the Brett Meyer Austin Flynn parallel, is there going to be a point where he can step forward and say, if Austin has had his Brett Meyer moment, granted they didn't win, so maybe we should qualify it that way, because that was a game when it happened at Baylor, I think in 2005, when Brett Meyer led them 80 yards, that very young team, and got that road win. And given that they're going to Baylor again, maybe there's a chance for one of those quarterbacks to have that moment. Is Phillip Bates going to be happy anywhere else on the field?
Not this year, I don't think. I don't think it will.
But in the future?
In the future, I can't answer that. I mean, we've all asked him that. We've all talked about it, and he has been very diplomatic in how he answers it. I'm just concentrating on being a quarterback. I think goal one, you keep him happy for this season. You don't want a rupture now or bad chemistry going now. I don't know how. I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. You're going to have a long talk with him. If this season continues to play out as it is, you're going to have a long off-season talk.
And he's going to have a talk internally with himself and his family, because do I want to play quarterback or do I want to be at Iowa State? And the two may be mutually exclusive. Yeah. That's a hard question for anybody going forward. Iowa hosted a Big Ten opener against Northwestern. I understand people's frustration with the Pitt game. I really do, because as we talked about there, it was there to be had. Pitt is a very middling team in a very middling league. They may be, I think what Iowa fans found out uncomfortably is they're a lot like Pitt, and that is a 7-5 type of team and not an elite team. But all that's happened from this week from Iowa, all you've been eliminated from is the BCS National Championship. Okay, it's probably not going to happen.
Probably not.
But beyond that, which we didn't think it would anyway, but beyond that, and missing a chance to go 4-0 out of league, you've still got a lot to play for in a league that also isn't that great. Ferentz is now, I believe, 3-7 in road openers. You knew historically this is something that could happen, but they're also 6-3 in their first home game after a road opener.
There I am with
those stats again. And you've got a team that, Northwestern, I think, that definitely matches up well for a lot of reasons, not least of which because Tyrell Sutton is still banged up.
Tyrell Sutton's hurt. Bashea didn't have a great.
And Bashea got hurt in that game.
Exactly.
That was not people knows. I think he hit a helmet and threw 3 picks after that.
Hurt, yes, exactly. What we know about this game is that Northwestern will bring the house, or at least they have in the previous games with 15 sacks.
Yep.
That's 3 shy of.
There are a lot more zone blitzing. They have a new defensive coordinator in Hankwitz, who was at Wisconsin last year. So you're seeing Wisconsin's defense of the last couple years a little bit run by little less talented players, but the same principles.
You're seeing that toughness. Iowa will counter that with its 3-headed tight end. I mean, they've got 3 tight ends who are above average, who are, they may have the best tight end combination.
As a group.
3 tandem of anybody in the conference. So they'll counter that rush. Let them come. Who cares? I mean, as long as Moeyaki, as long as Myers, as long as Reisner, as long as those guys are getting open for those little dump passes. And we saw what Moeyaki can do with a
Right.
with a pass.
The screen game. Maybe this is a game where the screen game works out for them, which it had.
They haven't thrown a screen in 10 years, maybe. But anyway,
not a well. Look at the bubble screen. They ran a successful. Yeah, the bubble.
They ran a bubble.
They ran a bubble. They got nothing.
Yeah, but they tried it at least. So I'm looking at the tight ends having big day set.
You guys want to talk more about these games with any of these guys and us, you can join us at DesMoinesRegister.com. Randy has his Hawkeye football chats on Monday. Andrew has his Cyclone football chats on Tuesday. And I'll be joining you on your Fridays. We'll see you there.